What's going on, YouTube? How y'all feeling? Checking in. I decided to make this video because number one, what I've experienced last night, and it's on my heart to make it. And I know it's a lot of people in the world that is dealing with or have dealt with what I'm dealing with and what I've been dealing with. So ever since I was a kid, I always had sleep paralysis. I always got attacked by demons. I didn't understand it when I was a kid, you know what I'm saying? But let me speak on what happened last night. Well, 6 in the morning. Well, first, let me start off by saying, ever since I've been getting real close to God and I found my way back to God, I've been getting attacked crazy. And lately, I've been preaching the word, spreading this gospel. I've been doing some decent numbers on my YouTube. Know what I mean? And in person, I do it. Like, that's just who I am. My name is Daniel. That's just always who I've been. But I want to say to anybody else out there that's dealing with what I'm dealing with, to not give up on God or not make that chase you away, because it'll mess with your feelings, you know what I mean? And it'll have you thinking like you need to turn away from God because you don't want to deal with the torture no more or nothing like that. Every time you go to sleep, you're getting attacked. But 6 o'clock in the morning, I started to fall asleep. That whole day was weird, but let me start off by saying I was watching TV, and it was like a bag of chips that was just sitting there, and it kind of moved, and I paid no attention to it, whatever the case may be. So let me fast forward to 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock in the morning, I found myself dozing off, and I heard a whisper in my ear, but I kind of thought I was tripping, nah. So let me tell you, when I actually dozed off, I had one eye shut, and the one eye was still open, but I had my covers like halfway over my head, and I kind of didn't want to fall asleep because I was feeling eerie, like I was feeling weird, and I fell asleep, I guess, but my eyes were still open, and I could see the quilt over my face, and I could feel the energy, and I was trying to get the quilt from off of my face so I could see my legs, because I'm feeling like something is grabbing my legs, and which I've been through that before spiritually, and I felt like somebody was on top of me. So as I'm frozen like that, I'm finding myself calling out for Jesus, and as I'm calling out for him, and I'm actually, usually they try to block the name, but I'm actually saying his name, and he didn't arrive right away, and I seen like a shadowy figure, and it was like doing this, like telling me no, like basically like that's not gonna work. So on my left side, I could feel like something came onto my bed, like I could feel it, and audibly I heard the devil laughing. Like usually when these demons come attacking me, I don't never feel like the devil's in the room, or I don't feel like that. I just feel like it's just the demons attacking me. But last night, 6 o'clock in the morning, I could audibly hear him laughing, taunting me. You know what I mean? It was crazy, and I could feel them grabbing my legs and shaking me. You know what I mean? Like they was basically jumping me spiritually. And out of nowhere, I could feel like my spirit going up. But I'm not going to say that was God taking me up. I don't know if that was them throwing me around or what was going on. But I felt like it was weird, but I felt like I was going up, and I was going to the ceiling. And I was getting flipped over backwards or whatever. But it's crazy, like right before I had fell asleep, I told myself, because I was like tossing and turning and stuff like that, I told myself, I don't want to lay on my back, because these was my thoughts before I fell out. I don't want to lay on my back because that's usually when that type of stuff happens. So let me sleep on my side. But it was comfortable, the position I was in, laying on my back at this time, and I actually went to sleep like that. And the moment that I thought that and fell out like that, that's when it happened. Now eventually I kept screaming for Jesus, I kept screaming for him, and eventually he showed up, and they fled. I could feel them fleeing my room. You know what I mean? And I got up, my heart was pounding, I turned the light on, and I was like, why? I kept asking myself, like, why do I keep dealing with this? I'm already struggling. You know what I mean? I've been sat still for the last 4 years, and learning the word, and I understand God sat me still, and I felt like I've been in like spiritual school. And I can feel on my heart that he's been wanting me to say my testimony. He's been wanting me to preach the gospel. Like, he's been wanting me to talk to my viewers. He's been wanting me to, you know, help the people around me. Like, and I've been doing that. You know what I mean? But I'm only making this video because deep down I feel like I don't want this no more. You know what I mean? Like, but I know I'm not gonna give up, and I do have faith, and I do believe, and I understand that that's what comes with this, and I understand that I'm powerful in my words and my heart. You know what I mean? How given I am, and even though I always get the last end of the stick in my life, I always put people first. I'm just a giver. You know what I mean? But I'm only saying this because there's other people out there that probably feel the same way as I do and don't want to deal with that. Like I said, the closer you get to God, the more you get attacked. I understand that. And it's more to the story, because earlier that day, it was two dudes that, like, these last couple years, God been clearing people out my path. It's been a lot of evil people that's been trying to do me wrong in my life, right? But it was these two dudes that I kind of haven't been wanting to see, and I've been like, I know that God always make me face things head on in order to clear the problem. But yesterday was kind of crazy, because out of all the people in the world, I see these two dudes at the same time. They don't even know each other, but they came on my street and actually pulled over and stopped. And I know that these people was evil once in their life. Don't know if they still are, but after the conversations, and me and my friend kind of like, God was speaking to them through us, and I could feel the shift and the change in them. And maybe the devil was mad at me for preaching to his two people. You know what I mean? And we came to an understanding, and I could feel the change in them. I'm gonna just say it like that. That don't mean that I want to hang with them, I want to be around with them, I want to deal with them. It was just unfortunate that God does everything for a reason. Obviously, he put them in my path. You know what I mean? He put them in my path because he don't give up on people. He loves all. You know what I mean? So maybe he was giving them another chance. But I could tell you that it worked, and maybe the devil was mad at me for that. But I'm saying this to say, like, if you going through this, anybody out there in the world going through the same thing I'm going through, don't give up. You know what I mean? Or don't let it scare you away. That's the devil's tactic, and I feel like I'm letting him win the fight if I quit. And I'm never gonna give up. But I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm happy about things, or I understand everything, because I don't. You know what I mean? I just know that I've been getting attacked my whole life. I buried my dad when I was 10 years old, and ever since that moment, it's like I've been getting attacked my whole entire life by demons. It went away for a long time, but that's because I kind of like strayed away from God in my life for a little period, and he snatched me back. I've been back with God for years, like strong, and things been getting worse. If anybody out there that's going through the same thing, man, just keep your head up, keep your prayers right, you know, keep your faith in God, keep believing, and don't let that scare you off. I mean, peace and love to everybody.